Aloha and good morning. I'm Dylan Ancheta in the Hawaii News Now Digital Center. It is a very special day as Honolulu is so excited for the opening of our new Skyline. We have our Casey Lund standing by at the Halava station. Casey, tell us what's going on there.
Hey, Dylan. Perfect timing, by the way. We want to get you right to what's happening here at the Halava station, and we're going to go ahead and kind of let some of this breathe. We've got John Nouchi here to the closest to the camera, Governor Josh Green, Mayor Rick Blangiardi. We've got Roger Morton, the Director of the Department of Transportation Services, Lori Kaikine, Senator Schatz as well down there at the end. We're getting ready for the untying of the Miley Lei. That should happen any moment. Things are on schedule. Then after that, we'll have some of the speakers. But right now, I'm just going to kind of narrate what's going on. And actually, if we can pan over, I just want to show you the crowd over here. A pretty big crowd, a lot of media, and then security very, very tight here as well. So this is a very, very big day for Honolulu. This is the largest public works project Hawaii has ever seen. Long delayed rail project finally opening its first leg today. So I'm going to let John Nouchi take over here as he begins to make his opening remarks. So let's listen. Elected officials getting ready to untie the lei. So now the media getting ready to move as that lei has been untied, and we will go inside the Halava station here, so stay with us. We'll walk through the gates, as you can see. Royal Hawaiian Band down here. And we'll await some of those elected officials to begin speaking here as the media kind of transitions over through the gate. Mayor Rick Blangiardi walking through the gates. Governor Green. Also have Congressman Ed Case here. Schatz. And we'll follow Mayor. He's leading the show today. Royal Hawaiian Band. Yet also
Mike
Thornby,
and welcome to this grand opening
the captain of Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, Mark Sohaney, or the commander, I should say. Our elected officials preparing to take the mic, and I'll go ahead and let that play out. I believe Mayor Blangiardi.
Casey, I hope you can still hear me. It's Dylan back in the Digital Center. For all of our viewers at home, you are watching the untying ceremony of the Mailele, signaling a new chapter for the Honolulu Skyline. Our Casey Lund is there, and you're seeing these live pictures come through from the Halava station. Now, Casey, if you can still hear me, can you paint the picture a little bit? Tell us, what are the crowds like? How many people are there?
Well, I'll show you a little bit of the crowd as we pan a little bit this way, just to give you an idea of how many people are here, Dylan. All the managing directors from different departments of the city and county of Honolulu, a very large media presence. Of course, we're kind of covering this from all angles. We have Daryl Huff, Annalisa Burgos, and then also and then as well, we've got Billy V also covering this from the west side. So this is, as you mentioned, a really historic, momentous day. And I hope you can still hear me. The Royal Hawaiian Band, of course, playing some beautiful, beautiful music this morning. And we've got hula, really, really special occasion. But as you mentioned, Dylan, as you saw, Mayor and all the other elected officials, Governor Josh Green, walking through those gates. Really very, very big moment here for the city and county of Honolulu. Andrea Chipola here. All of our city council members are in place as well. And you can see, we'll show as Andrea Chipola is on the stage now, presenting lei to Roger Morton, the director of the Department of Transportation Services. This is decades in the making, a long, long awaited and yes, long delayed project. This is the first leg opening today. So there's a feeling of celebration, I think, for a lot of people, like Lori Kaikina, the executive director of HART, a sense of relief that we're finally here. And as Mayor mentioned back about a month and a half or so ago, that they're ahead of July. They are opening it on June 30th. So there's a real air of happiness, positivity here. It's an exciting time. We are getting ready for those elected officials to take the stage and speak. Everything so far is right on schedule. And again, we will be riding the rail a little bit later at around 11. This is going to be a really important thing, especially for our military members. And I want to show Captain Mark Sohaney, the commander for Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. You have to imagine that a lot of the folks, our military, our servicemen and women, will be taking advantage of the rail, riding it from places like Kapolei into town. It's going to stop right here at Halava. Of course, this is the first leg. It takes exactly 22 minutes, and I can tell you that because we've ridden it. We took a ride on the rail. It was very smooth. It was very quiet, and a lot of people are excited for today. So I believe, if you still have me, Dylan, again, it's very loud. I'm going to go ahead and kind of let this moment breathe. Colleen Honobusa also just sitting down here with our elected officials. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of let you listen in and watch the festivities as we prepare for this very, very special, momentous day.
Yeah, Casey, thank you so much for that report. To our viewers at home, we do apologize. It is very loud there. There is the Royal Hawaiian Band right there. But Casey, thank you so much. I know you have to go and get set for your live coverage, so we're going to go ahead and release you there as we get set. So thank you so much, Casey. For all of our viewers at home, our special coverage continues on air. We're going to be on air in just a few minutes here, on air and online. Of course, we'll be bringing you full coverage, full team coverage throughout the day from the Honolulu Rail Station. We're going to go ahead and let you take a listen into all the festivities as we go ahead and prepare to hear the opening remarks from our officials.
It is a historic day here in Hawaii. Skyline is going to open to the public 4 hours from now.
A ceremony is getting underway in Halawa. That's at one end of the first segment of the rail line, which will running to East Kapolei.
Moments ago, there was a Mailile untying event. In fact, our cameras were there. Take a look.
Ta'ahala no punadawahine no dahalua no igilawe. Hi.
Coming up in just minutes after an Oli, the national anthem, and Hawaii Pono'i, we're going to hear from Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi, Governor Josh Green, Senator Brian Schatz, and other dignitaries. In about an hour and 15 minutes, they're going to hop on a train for a ride. We're going to tag along with them and bring you live reports from Skyline. Our coverage continues until noon, and then our friends on This Is Now are going to take over.
All right, Skyline opens today at 2 p.m. with free rides through July 4th, with 5 trains running at full schedule. Arrivals at each of the 9 stations will happen about every 10 minutes. Now, the stations are going to be opening at 2 p.m. So do the 3 free park and rides at Halawa, Ho'opili, and UH West Oahu. There is paid parking at Aloha Stadium. Rail parking will not be allowed at LCC or at shopping centers. Food is not allowed in stations or in trains. There are restrooms with changing stations, but you have to ask an attendant to use them. A holo card is not necessary today, but they will be starting on Saturday morning when the train starts running at 8 a.m. Skyline will be open to the public on weekdays from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and weekends and holidays from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Here are some facts about the first segment of Skyline that you can ride starting this afternoon. It's an 11-mile stretch from East Kapolei to Halawa. There are 9 stations, and it's going to take 22 minutes to complete a one-way ride. Also, there's free Wi-Fi on those trains and at the stations. You're going to want to head to our website, hawaiinewsnow.com, for a comprehensive story that shows you everything you need to know about riding Skyline, including purchasing a holo card.
All right, we want to head out to Halawa for the start of the ceremony where the national anthem is underway.
Please remain standing for Hawaii Pono'i, performed by the Royal Hawaiian Band, featuring Councilmember Andrea Tupola. Please welcome the Honorable Rick Blangiardi, Mayor of the City and County of Honolulu.
Well, good morning and welcome to this truly historic occasion as we begin to open up Skyline for the general public. But before I begin my comments, just a personal note, and I hope you'll indulge me. As I'm sitting here this morning on the stage, it hit me looking through and seeing Aloha Stadium. And I was there the night we opened it up as a young assistant football coach in 1975. And I think back about all the great games not only we coached in, but for the years that I spent announcing and then subsequently as a fan, and the joy and the pride that that brought to Hawaii. And here we are today in a new beginning with this venture and all that it means for our future. It's very, very humbling moments. In the spirit of all that took place in that great stadium, just invoke that right now in the spirit of today. So, you know, we have so many distinguished guests today, it's impossible to introduce all of us. However, I do want to recognize some very special people. First, the Honorable Assistant Secretary to the Navy, Meredith Berger. Senator Brian Schatz. Governor Josh Green. The Deputy Regional Administrator from the FTA, Amy Chongchen. The Executive Vice President and Executive Officer, Railway Systems for Hitachi, Alastair Dormer. The President of the American Public Transportation Association, Paul Skoutelis. The Consul General of Japan, Yutaka Aoki. The Board Chair of HART, and someone whom I owe a real debt of gratitude for her hard work, her brilliance, and her unwavering commitment to making Skyline a successful reality today, Ms. Colleen Hanabusa. Today's opening of Skyline begins truly a transformative era for Hawaii. It's also the culmination of years of hard work to fulfill what was a very bold vision. And I would be remiss in not acknowledging the three mayors prior to my administration, all of whom played a vital role in the construction of the project. Mayor Mufi Hanneman, who's not here with us today, Mayor Peter Carlisle, who's not here with us today, but Mayor Kirk Caldwell, who is here and joined us today. I thank you publicly. I know firsthand it wasn't easy. I want to also sincerely offer my deepest respect and appreciation for FTA Administrator Ms. Noria Fernandez for her belief and confidence in our team to finally make this project a reality. And to FTA Regional Administrator Mr. Ray Tellis, who has become an excellent mentor and a guiding light throughout the entire process for us. My most sincere mahalo. I also want to thank the countless men and women of our construction unions who have labored for so many years to build this world-class transportation system we now call Skyline. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of those unions for their unwavering commitment. And I want to especially acknowledge Ron Takeda, the head of the Carpenters Union, for his leadership and also in being a driving force in the creation of this project. I also want to thank our City Council under the leadership of Council Chair Tommy Waters and Vice Chair Esther Kiaina for their support and understanding as we work through the many challenges that we face together in getting to today. I also want to strongly acknowledge and thank the HART Board for their vision and courageous leadership in performing an absolutely critical part in this process. Thank you. You know, words fail me, and I truly mean that, in acknowledging and especially offering my most sincere mahalo to the following 5 people who began with me 2.5 years ago in my office at the start of our administration, in the middle of a pandemic, who committed themselves to making today a reality. Our Director of Transportation Services, Roger Morton, and our Deputy Director, John Nouchi. You know, I can't think of two more passionate men committed to the art of public transportation, and we are in really good hands on a going-forward basis. To the Hart First Deputy Director, Rick Keene, who constantly managed somehow to keep the numbers working no matter what we threw at him. Rick, my congratulations, my gratitude. And of course, our Hart Executive Director and CEO, Lori Kaikina. Whose leadership, knowledge, grit, and determination was exactly what we needed at the time we needed it most. I am on record of saying that. I can't say enough about Lori. Okay? I also want to say that this is a moment for me to just express my deepest respect and gratitude for everything that the next guy has brought to the table during our weekly meetings each and every time. The tireless, hardworking, and the genius of our Managing Director of the City and County of Honolulu, Mike Formby. So in closing, I find myself not with the words to describe this magnificent project and all that it took by so many to get to this moment in time, and most importantly, what it means for our future generations. But I know one thing for sure, that today you cannot overstate the word historic. You cannot overstate the word iconic. And you cannot overstate the word transformative. Mahalo to all of you for being here today.
Well, that was easy. Congratulations, everyone. It is a historic day. It's an honor to be governor in this moment when the rail begins. I want to say a couple quick mahalos to the Royal Hawaiian Band. Let's give them a round of applause. Beautiful. Councilwoman Tupola, also spectacular. Thank you. Look how this brings us together. I don't think we have to say more than that, really, to see people who have debated in a strong way for or against rail, but to see the value of coming together as a people to do something special. Because in the end, Hawaii should be able to do great things, big things. So I see Ron and Kyle there. Thank you for fighting all the way. Thank you for Senator Schatz and Senators Akaka and Inouye and Hirono and our representatives, Ed, fantastic, and Jill. They've been fighting for so many years so that these jobs could be created, so that this work could be done. It is extraordinary to imagine what's happened over these years. Congresswoman Hanabusa, amazing work, both at the level of congressional and then in your capacity to make this happen too. Let's give her a round of applause. That's special. And it would be easy for us to forget so many of the people that fought for this. Of course, and I thought it was very generous and eloquent and heartfelt of the mayor to thank Mayor Caldwell. He took more lumps on this thing than anybody. He deserves an extra round of applause. So like I said, Hawaii should be able to do great things, and we will. This is one of many. As the mayor pointed out, right over the horizon, we will need to build a stadium for the good of Hawaii, for more opportunities to bring us together. And we'll come together and use this as an example of how we can improve the economy, how we can take care of our people, how we can build housing along this rail line. I know that that's been a passion of Tommy and so many other of our leaders at the city level and the state level. We have to build housing. We have to care for our people. We have to improve our quality of life. And this is certainly one of those moments where people's lives will improve. So from Jamie and me, our extended family, congratulations to the workers who put out, who made this happen. It is an amazing day. Mahalo, aloha, congratulations.
The Honorable Brian Schatz, United States Senator for the state of Hawaii.
Aloha and good morning. And what a good morning it is. You know, it is really a good opportunity to see everybody who made this happen. It's not easy when you at least reach a milestone as important as this. And I was thinking about this in politics. Part of the magic of community organizing and politics is that everybody who is part of something feels secretly to themselves like they're the one that made it happen, that without them, this thing wouldn't have happened. And it is rarely true, but in this case, I look out into this crowd and behind me, and I think there's probably 50, 75 people without whom this wouldn't have happened. This is an extraordinary moment. This project faced multiple near-death experiences along the way. It was challenging, it took a lot of grit, it took a lot of arguing, it took a lot of money, it took a lot of determination and skill and political risk. And I look out here and I'm serious. I could throw a tennis ball and find someone and go, oh yeah, we needed you at this particular point. Without you, it would have died, right? Certainly all the council members, certainly the legislature, certainly the professional staff at the federal, state, and county level, certainly the former mayor and the current mayor, and all of the staff at DTS and across this great island of Oahu, and the workers who are still in the process of building this extraordinary project. And so this has been really challenging. Challenges remain ahead, but what an extraordinary milestone. We finally have a rail system that is operational, and that is worth celebrating, and all of you are worth celebrating. Thank you so much for all of the work, and let's get it done.
The Honorable Meredith Berger, Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Energy, Installations, and Environment, and Chief Sustainability Officer.
Aloha and good morning. It is such a pleasure to be with all of you today as you hit this milestone, and what an exciting time it is. And I have heard a lot of folks reflect on community as they've made remarks, and I look out and I see what that community looks like. It's a community that with kindness and collaboration has continually worked with the Navy, the Marine Corps, the whole Department of Defense. And so I see all the folks here together, and I see what the community here in Oahu looks like. I see the Navy, the Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, and I see what that looks like as we all come together. And so as I do my work, I think about 3 C's. I think about climate action, critical infrastructure, and I think about community. And so, Mr. Mayor, as you were talking about that grit and determination and the will to get things done and the knowledge to support it, that is what brings together a community to, as the governor said, get things done for a place like Hawaii. And as Senator Schatz was saying, it takes everybody to make sure that we do it and bring it together. And so as we work as a community to move forward, to see electrification, to make sure that we have transportation that is connective, I offer a special mahalo on behalf of the Navy. This is something that will bring so much connection to the community for the Navy. As we see this stop here at the Halawa Gate, this is where people can come and visit the Arizona and the Missouri. As we get closer out in a few years, the Makalapa Gate will help to connect the workforce, and we're excited to be able to use this rail as part of our transportation initiative and options here, and continue to build and to grow together. And I know that as I look up at the carvings behind us, that's so significant as we think about the mo'olelo and the stories of where we are. And I had the chance to drive by the Makalapa Gate on the the way here and saw the carvings that have the ships that reflect the connection of the Navy story to the community story. So I look forward to seeing this progress. I am grateful to be included. I see so much potential in how we continue to work together on infrastructure like this, on electrification, on the things that will help get after some of the incredible things that Hawaii can do. So mahalo for today, and what an incredible day.
Colleen Hanabusa, Board Chair for the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation.
Good morning and aloha. I'd like to ask, and if Roger Morton did this right, they should be located together, the Heart Board to please rise. Roger almost did it right. Roger, you stand too. I wanted you all to see the hardworking, for most part, unpaid volunteer board, and it means a lot. Let me give you a little bit of background. I was in the Hawaii State Senate in 2005 when we passed the first GET. I was in Congress in 2012 when the full funding grant agreement was signed, participated in the signing of the ceremonial full funding grant agreement. Then in 2016, thanks to none other than Mayor Caldwell, I was appointed to the Heart Board for the first time. I think I'm the only person, as my husband says, is lolo enough to serve more than once. And I also served as chair then. And jumping ahead, in 2021, I had the great honor of being appointed by Mayor Blangiardi, and also my colleagues made me chair again. But let me tell you about what it's taken. So 2005 GET, 2012 full funding grant agreement. We needed to go in and get 2 GET extensions, and we were in Congress, Michael Formby and I, my chief of staff, so I had him before Mayor Blangiardi. And there was, of course, at that time, Act 1, which is what brings us to 2030. And in 2016, we were both on the Heart Board. And that is what I say caused the transfer to DTS of the operations and maintenance of rail. But in addition to that, we amended the charter to do not only that, but to also create a board that had oversight and, in particular, policy-making authority and control of the Heart budget. That was a great responsibility put upon this board, and this board rose to the occasion. Working with Tommy Waters, it was this board's initiative that did the TAT 3%. Thank you, Tommy, for asking us for your help, for our help. And in addition to that, we also then rolled into the recovery plan, which you all hear so much about. This board would not be a rubber stamp board. They disagreed with Hart administration's predictions, as Rick Keene will tell you. He lost a lot of hair at that time. But we stood our ground. And I believe that what time will show is that this board, unpaid, volunteer, did an amazing job. And one of these things that this board would not let me leave this podium without acknowledging is the hard work of the Hart staff. All of you, you know who you are. You're out there. Of course, Rick is up here. Nate is up here. It is because we give them a bad time. We do. But it is because we give them a bad time that we're able to be, I believe, where we are here today. So though I stand before you as the chair of Heart, I only stand before you as the chair of Heart because I've got an amazing board who is behind me, who has stood together since 2021 to get us to where we are. We're not anywhere alike in any way. But you know what? We're able to put our differences aside for one specific purpose, and that is rail, the completion of rail for the benefit of the people of the city and county of Honolulu. So to members of the board, I stand here thanks to you. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve with you, and it has been a greater honor to have served as your chair. And I can only say I am looking forward to watch our Pollyanna, Anthony Alto, and the wonderful pig that's been formed called Ala Moana and beyond. And believe me, they're there for one purpose, and that's to best serve the needs of the people of this great city. And as everyone has said, this is the beginning of it all. And with board members like that, you can't go wrong. So mahalo, everyone. Mahalo, board. Thank you.
Amy Chanshin, Deputy Director, Federal Transportation Administration, Region 9.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Chanshin. I am the Deputy Administrator for the Federal Transit Administration Region 9 office in San Francisco, where we serve 7 states and territories, including Hawaii. I am so glad to be here today to joining you in celebrating a truly transformative moment in public transportation in Honolulu. The strong representation today from the Hawaii leaders shows how important the project is to the region and to the entire state. While, of course, the Skyline will operate and serve the Honolulu community, we know that the investments in public transportation support economic prosperity, sustainable community and environment, and social mobility, which benefits everyone. So FTA Region 9, we have been a partner to the HEART project since the very beginning, and I particularly would like to recognize our project lead, Ryan Fuji, who is based in Honolulu, and thank you for all your hard work. And it does really take a village, and we're privileged to be here. At the FTA, our mission is to improve public transportation for America's communities. And I think that we can all look at the overcrowded roads here on Oahu and know that instinctively, that fast and safe and effective public transportation across Honolulu will improve this community. And by making it easier than ever to live, work, and visit Oahu without needing a car. So I also want to congratulate Honolulu DTS for receiving an award of $20 million earlier this week for their zero-emission bus deployment project. And you can see some of the buses out there. And so this project will especially offer great benefits to disadvantaged communities here locally and will advance the DTS's vision and goals for transitioning into a fully zero-emission system by 2040. So I should note that the Honolulu's grant is one of 130 projects funded through the record investment in electric bus transit by the 2021 bipartisan infrastructure law, which Senator Schatz, thank you, and the Hawaii delegation were instrumental in securing the funding and sending to President Biden for signature. The president believes that when you invest in American infrastructure from bottom up and middle out, great things happen. And we at the FTA are so proud to be part of that effort. Hawaiians will soon to see the benefits themselves with the system. I am so excited to be here and to celebrate with you. And I am so excited for what is to come next. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Paul Skoutelis from APTA.
Aloha. Good morning. Thank you, Amy, very much. It is so great to be here. First of all, congratulations to the community and to HEART and to all of those who put on this fabulous event this morning to really celebrate something that we should all feel so very proud about. You heard a number of themes this morning from our speakers. One has been how long this project has been in the process of getting built and constructed and opening. Second, the collaboration that it's taken and the leadership. And I simply want to take this moment to thank all of the leaders who are with us today. Mayor Blangiardi, who has been fantastic. We met a couple of years ago in Washington. He said, there's no question, we're going to go forward and we're going to build this. Mayor, thank you for your continued energy and direction and vision to get this done. Governor Green, Senator Schatz, who've been instrumental in terms of supporting and making sure resources are brought to the project. Chair Hanabusa for her leadership with the HART Board, FTA Deputy Administrator Amy Changjin, and of course Nuria Fernandez in Washington, D.C. for FTA, who have been just stalwarts behind this project, and to the professional staff that have been acknowledged here, our good friend Roger Morton, Director of Transportation, John Nucci, the Deputy, and of course Lori Kahikena, CEO of the HART system. Thank you, Lori. It takes tremendous, tremendous energy to do what they have done. Let me just say, you know, I've been in the transportation, specifically rail and transit business for 40 years. I will tell you firsthand that these projects, a mega project like this, is not for the faint of heart. They take a long time, they take a lot of money, they take a lot of support in the community, many political jurisdictions and leaders who have to come and support this. They can die on the vine, as you've heard earlier, at any point in time. So it takes a united front, a collaboration that has to rise above all the negativity that happens. Don't be too hard on yourselves. That's not just here to get this project done. Again, I've witnessed and been a part of projects all over the country, large major projects like this, similar to this, and they all take a lot of effort. They take grit, determination, perseverance. They take up getting up each morning and saying, I'm going to do what has to get done. We're not giving up on this. That is what it takes. And that's what this community has come together to take. So I applaud you on behalf of the American Public Transportation Association for the work that you've done. You've embraced the future. You've taken this first step forward to smart transportation, energy efficient, responsive to our climate issues, creating economic opportunity for your community, for people. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. These are beautiful trains, wonderful stations, but it really is about the people in your community that will rely on this transportation every single day to expand opportunities in their lives, going to work, going to the doctor, going to school. That's what public transportation is all about. It is the great equalizer, giving people an opportunity to live their lives in dignity and responsibility, and that's what public transportation does here in Hawaii, here in Oahu, and Honolulu, and really all over the country. So I say to you, take great pride in what you're doing here today. Don't give it up. Continue with these extensions. They're very, very important. I believe that you will find in a few short years, as this line gets completed, you will have one of the most efficient rail systems in the entire country. The future is yours. Congratulations for embracing it. Congratulations for having the drive and the vision to move forward to accomplishment. Thank you very much.
Consul General Yutaka Aoki, Consulate General of Japan in Honolulu.
Good morning and aloha. And hearty congratulations to all as we come together today to celebrate the public opening of the first phase of Skyline. This is a special day, one that's been in the making for nearly 2 decades, a significant milestone in Skyline's journey so far, and a huge step forward in Hawaii's move toward carbon-free mobility and more sustainable future. The starting of the nearly 11-mile stretch from East Kapolei to the Aloha Stadium will, after all, enable Oahu to address the year-long problem of west-side traffic congestion and providing this island much-needed solutions in the face of over-tourism. But in joining all of you here today, willing to experience this railway system by Hitachi, the first of its kind in the U.S., and poised to put Hawaii on the map in so many positive ways. My awareness grows of the remarkable power of cooperative endeavors those incredible collaborations in business, government, education, athletics, culture, and in technology like for Skyline, which have collectively served to bring Hawaii and Japan closer on so many levels, grassroots and up. Through the past decades, through now, and hopefully through the generations to come. With the continued cooperation of the dedicated many who successfully saw us to the completion of Skyline's first phase. It's now only a matter of time for the completion of phase 2 and eventually phase 3, which will ultimately bring the benefits, the enjoyment, the attraction, and the convenience of traveling from city center and back quickly to greater number of Kama'auna and visitors alike. Best wishes to all, and I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all the many milestones to come. Mahalo nui loa.
Alistair Dormer, Executive Officer, Railway Systems, Nuclear Energy and Power Grid Business, Hitachi Limited.
Good morning. Aloha. Thank you very much for inviting us here to commemorate this occasion this morning. And I'd like to just give a special thanks to Senator Schultz, Governor Josh Green, Mayor Rick Blangiardi, and our partners, Roger Morton of the Department of Transportation Services, and Lori Kakahina of HART. Without your support, we could not have made this the success that it will be today. Now, I know today we're going to go and ride on the train for the first time, which, of course, is a momentous occasion. And in my long career in the railway business, I've been to a few of these events. And normally the most nervous person in the whole of the city is the driver. Because the big boss comes down and says to the driver, okay, you've got to make sure you stop exactly in the right place. You've got to make sure that you accelerate just at the right speed. And you've got to make sure that you brake just at the nice, gentle way, because there's the most important people in the whole city are going to be on this train. Fortunately today, the driver is Hitachi's digital technology. So the most nervous people are now the software engineers that have coded it. But this system is fully proven in great cities like Copenhagen and Milan, and will deliver a timetable. The train will stop within and adhere to a timetable within 10 seconds, 99.5% of the time, which is an incredible achievement. So I'd also like to really express my thanks and gratitude to the hundreds, maybe even thousands of people in Hitachi that have worked so tirelessly to make this project a success. There are some of the cleverest people on the planet, and this is the biggest robot in Honolulu sitting above us. So I hope you enjoy the day. I'd like to welcome Honolulu to that club of greener, more sustainable cities as we move forward. And I'm sure this is going to be a tremendous success for the city. Thank you very much.
Lori Kahikina, Executive Director and CEO of the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm at graduation with all of the ladies, so thank you, all of you who have given me one today. First of all, I'd like to thank Mayor. Mayor, what a tremendous coach and leader. I've said it publicly many times that I felt like he took the weight off of my shoulders when he mentioned that we had to do a temporary truncated scope. I thought I would have to announce that to everyone, and he did that in the State of the City address. So Mayor, thank you. Thank you for all of the support that you've given to me personally and to the HART project. Our board, as our board chair mentioned, you know, you folks push hard on us. You beat us up, but it makes us stronger. It makes me stronger, it makes the HEART team stronger, and the project better. So thank you for all that you do for us. Governor, state legislators, we wouldn't be here without their support. I know Ed Sniffen is not here, but there's many times I'm calling him in the middle of the night that I need your help, and he's right there to answer my call and say, no problem, Lori, I got your back. City Council, at Oahu TAT, thank you so much. I know that was a battle, especially when we were going through this, but you folks have supported us throughout the project, and thank you for pushing our budget through. 10 minutes, that was a record. City departments, I think I call you folks too all the time. Kat, you approved our MOU in 1 day so we could get Dillingham moving, so thank you so much for that. The federal delegation, Senator Schatz, Dabney, Dale, you folks continuously support us. I know it wasn't easy when I first came in. Dabney, you would beat me up a lot. So again, like the board made me stronger, and it's don't miss any deadlines, and we haven't. Every deadline you folks have put on us, we've made it, but your confidence means a lot, and you're pushing on our behalf means a lot. FTA, Amy, I know you're new, but you have impressed me. I've only met you this trip, and you have impressed me. Ray Tellis has supported us, of course, Nuria Fernandez. Our third-party stakeholders, HICO, thank you for your support. We battled too with you, but thank you so much. Kamehameha Schools, and I know I'm missing others, but as Mayor mentioned, the unions, we wouldn't be here without all of you, what you have built. I think some of our contractors are here. I know Nan is here. But we would not, this beautiful facility that we're standing in, they built it with all of their staff. And of course, today is about my staff. I would not be here. We would not be here. Rick, you're my right-hand man. Nate, you're my left. You too, Nate, I call you in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, but he always answers my call too. He tries to hide, but I call his house, I call his personal cell, work cell. You may as well answer, because next thing I'll be at your house, which I've done. He had to put up a huge gate so that I can't get in, but that didn't stop me. And Hitachi, I know we've battled with each other. I am so proud of what you folks have accomplished. Give me gray hairs as late as this morning, but I have the confidence every time that you're going to pull through. I did get a call this morning, by the way. We have a problem. You need to fix it. Today is not the day to have the problem. And they came through. So we will start battling again next week, but today we'll relax. HEART team, you folks can have off tomorrow and Tuesday, but we start Wednesday back to the second and third segments. So for those of you that you're going to ride the train for the first time, the views are spectacular. Born and raised here, I drive along the highways, and you don't see what you're going to see today. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all of your support.
Roger Morton, Director of the Department of Transportation Services.
Mayor Blangiardi, Governor Green, Senator Schatz, elected officials, neighborhood leaders, military leaders, esteemed guests, co-workers, and distinguished colleagues. Aloha. Infrastructure is not easy, but today marks a major milestone for HEART and for DTS as we gather here to celebrate the grand opening of our new automated light metro system, Skyline. This momentous occasion calls for reflection and gratitude, as well as recognition of the challenges and triumphs that have brought us to this point, and the continued challenges and perseverance that will be necessary to get us to Ala Moana and beyond. Infrastructure is not easy. It demands unwavering commitment, tireless efforts, and a shared vision. The development of Skyline epitomizes the tremendous dedication and determination of countless individuals who worked tirelessly to bring this ambitious project to fruition. Many of you are here today and have had a role in getting us to where we are now, and I applaud all of you. Infrastructure is not easy, but the engineers who designed this intricate network of tracks and stations, to the construction workers who labored day and night to build the foundation of this remarkable system, to the planners who meticulously coordinated roles and schedules, to our partners at HART who had to periodically reinvent themselves and retool the system, to Hitachi and our other contractor partners who are charged with efficient operation, and to our city, state, and federal leaders who did not lose sight of the vision, I say thank you for your efforts and especially for your patience. Every step of this journey has been an uphill battle. We faced obstacles and setbacks, but you never wavered in your determination to provide the people of Oahu with a modern, efficient, and sustainable mode of transportation. Skyline represents more than just a collection of sleek, state-of-the-art trains. Yes, it's the first driverless train in the country. Yes, it's the first system with platform screen gates. Yes, we have one of the most sophisticated security systems in the industry. Yes, it will enhance the quality of life for our people in the West, who will have more time for family and less time crawling along in slow traffic. But Skyline will also create the opportunities to shape Oahu for decades that follow. It signifies our commitment to shaping a brighter future for our beloved Aina and our residents. Skyline will help us direct future growth to well-planned TODs, and it will help us keep the country country. As the system is extended, it will help us reduce our dependence on automobiles and help us meet our climate change goals. It will be a new engine for economic development, creating good jobs for our people. This initial segment is only an appetizer. Soon we will open additional segments to the airport, downtown, Ala Moana, and beyond. It's taken us more than 50 years to build the first initial segment. Imagine where we could be in another 50 years. But let's proceed clear-eyed, and let's not forget the hard lessons we've learned along the way. Infrastructure is not easy, but rail projects are marathons, not sprints. As we move from construction to operation and maintenance, we must continue to invest in the system, ensuring that Skyline remains a reliable, safe, clean, and efficient transportation option for generations to come. But now it's a time for celebration, and I invite you to get ready to experience Skyline. Mahalo.
The Honorable Rick Langiardi, Mayor of the City and County of Honolulu.
Well, I think you've heard everything there is to hear. So let's get on that train. Let's get upstairs and get on Skyline. Thank you all. I think it's been said by a number of the speakers. There's so many people that contributed in this audience today. I'm sorry we didn't get to acknowledge you, but you know who you are, and you know what you've meant to making today a reality. So let's enjoy it. Thank you again for being here.
Okay. The Royal Hawaiian Band, under the direction of Bandmaster Clark Bright, will now premiere their arrangement of Rapid Transit Hula, a mele composed in 1902 by Martha Nunny that celebrates the speed, power, and views from Honolulu's first rapid transit system. Today, 121 years later, we commemorate the start of Skyline, Honolulu's newest rapid transit system.
Hawaiian music has commemorated the getting of people from place to.
Lots of thank yous, lots of congratulations on this historic day, the first running opening to the public of the rail system that has been long awaited.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear from all the dignitaries and their perspective, including the mayor, talking about how he was an assistant coach when they were breaking ground on Aloha Stadium, and to come to this day after all these years.
Also thank the three mayors that preceded him, and also looking ahead, I thought it was also great to hear from Lori Kaikina saying that her crew is going to have the weekend off, but come next week, they're back to work on phase 2 because they still got a lot of work ahead.
Yeah, we're going to have much more coverage on the opening ceremony of Skyline. We'll be right back. You're watching our special report on the grand opening of Skyline.
Yeah, and we have team coverage. Let's now get to Daryl Huff live in Halawa. Daryl, you've covered this for decades, from the very first conversations to where we are now. Your thoughts today?
Well, it's quite remarkable, and I think a lot of the speeches today really went to this. This has been one of the most polarizing projects in the history of the state of Hawaii. I mean, defeating H3 even for the controversy, maybe even defeating Mauna Kea for the controversy. If you think about it, when I started as a reporter 42 years ago, they were still talking about this. We knew Frank Fosse was working hard on it. I watched as the city council killed it. We watched as one mayor after another would come on with a different position about rail. They finally broke ground 12 years ago and then had to stop because of court challenges. So it's really been an ordeal. I think a lot of the speeches you heard when they talked about the perseverance that was required and so on, they were talking about political perseverance up against the financial issues and the political issues. It's really quite remarkable to be here today, even though, you got to keep in mind, this is only the first half, first 11 miles. We got a long way to go from here, guys. Let me give you a little scene setter about what's going on right now. So they just finished the program downstairs. We're up on the platform, as you can see, the train is here, and they're going to get ready to start escorting the VIPs that were down there up here. I've made something of the fact that there's really only one escalator to this this platform, so they're going to be hiking up some stairs, a lot of them, to get there. And you know, some of them have been around for a while, so I think they'll be okay. There's also a big elevator in the middle. So we'll see him get up here. It might take a bit of time, and then we're going to throw Casey on the train so he can give you a real flavor of what it's like.
Daryl, what are your first impressions of the train and the station itself? Because there's been a lot talked about what it does have and what it's also missing.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. You're asking me about the first impression of the stations overall. I think that they're quite remarkable engineering and architectural feats. They've got all the features you need pretty much, but you really have to be ready to learn the system. Like anybody who's ever been in mass transit systems around the country, it takes a while to learn the ropes. Where do you get dropped off? What's the best way to access the station? What's the best way to get to the platform? How do I time what part of the train I want to get on? Like us right now, we're kind of squared away to like jump right in the very front of the train. Oh, there goes the police chief and fire chief. Yeah. They're all coming up. Those are the healthier guys, so they came in first.
Daryl. Okay. How about this, Daryl? There was a media preview last week. Were you on that? Have you had a chance to ride it? And if so, what were your impressions?
Yeah, I'm a little tired of riding it myself because I've been standing on it most of the time. And you go like this, you got to hold on, and then, oh, here comes Governor Green and his wife, Jamie. Nice to see you, Governor. We'll talk to you later. And so, it's a fun ride. One of the things that everybody tells me about that's the best part is the views. It's almost like flying in a low-flying helicopter over this big section of Oahu that so many people have never seen. You also get to see the places that can use redevelopment and the places that are under redevelopment. And you see all the beautiful ag land out in West Oahu, probably that's going to get bulldozed eventually for all the buildings that go around the train. But it's really a remarkable experience to see the island in that way. So I really encourage people to come out and see this. I wouldn't do it today if I were you, because it could be kind of crazy. But I think that over the next few days, with your holo card, people will enjoy the ride. Even if you just get on for a few stations, get off, get back on the train and go the other way, it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, Daryl, some people are attracted to that madness.
Yeah, that's true. Daryl, I want to ask you, you talked about how the rail system has been so polarizing really for the last 50 years. The question now, I think for a lot of us, is on this 11-mile route, who's going to be riding this on a regular basis, do you think?
Well, let me speak as someone who lives in Makakilo, right? And so this is a pretty congested area. It takes a long time to, say, get from West Oahu College to, say, Pearl Ridge. It could take you 15, 20, 30 minutes in a car. So to me, it wouldn't surprise me if people park at the park and ride at West Oahu and pop over to Pearl Ridge or pop over to the shopping center by Leeward Community College. I can see people using it. You've also got two campuses. You've got UH West Oahu and Leeward Community College. They're only about a 4-minute ride apart. So you can see college students, for example, going from one campus to the other. I think UH is looking at some of that, leveraging that ability to have professors teaching classes for both campuses on one campus because of the students' ability to move around. I mean, I could just add people within Waipahu. I talk to people who really like the idea of being able to skirt through Waipahu on the Skyline and get on another bus. A lot of people are bus drivers, bus riders, and they will be using this extensively. I want to show you, it's starting to get crowded over here.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's taking pictures, so it'll be quite an experience climbing on. I hope they haven't decided that the train is full. We're going to have to figure out whether it's time to get on. I think I'm going to give the microphone to Casey and let him go. Go, brother.
Daryl, thank you. We see, as you see, Mayor Rick Blangiardi boarding the train, and I believe we might want to secure our spot. So let's jump on the train if we can before this place gets too filled up. We'll talk to Mayor Rick Blangiardi. Go ahead and just barge our way in here.
Go get him.
Don't leave me. Taking some pictures. Got Governor Josh Green on here as well. So before this place fills up, we'll go ahead and hop in. And we'll kind of let you just witness this moment. Of course, the front of the train will make a little room, and we'll just kind of take a moment to capture what's happening here. We've got Mayor Governor Josh Green, Senator Schatz, as well as Congressman Ed Case, the First Lady of Hawaii as well, taking some pictures. A very exciting moment here as we prepare to take this first ride with the dignitaries aboard Honolulu's first train. You can see kind of jostling for position here. We'll go ahead and pan down that way if we can, where we see Chief Joe Logan from HPD. But yeah, it's an exciting time, Steve and Grace. We, as you know, have been covering this on Sunride leading up to this first ride. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Obviously, today is at this moment is reserved for dignitaries and some of the many people that have put in the hard work to get this done. 2 p.m. is when it actually opens up to the general public. What have you seen? Are there people lined up? And if not, what are some of the ways that we need to prepare for that? And how can somebody get a ride later today?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that, Steve. Actually, DTS officials, the city has asked folks kind of not to line up super early, right? They don't want a lot of congestion at these stations. And again, I want to just mention, security was very tight. We had the Honolulu Police Department here sweeping the grounds, making sure everything was safe before they started letting the public in. That was, of course, when we were out here around 4 a.m. So, again, people are kind of advised, and Daryl said it best, if you're excited to ride, it's a good time to do it. Of course, it's free. You don't need your Holo card right now, but today probably is going to be busy. And as you can see, this train is just about full. I want to actually, while I've got him here, I want to talk to Roger Morton. He is the Director of the Department of Transportation Services. Roger, this is an exciting time.
It's exciting, and it's a long time coming. But we're really proud of what we've been able to put out. We're really proud of all the partners who helped us. It took a lot of people to get this project going.
Many mayors, many legislators, both at the federal and state level. I want to ask you what this moment is like for people like you, Lori Kaikina, folks that have been kind of working on this project for some time, seeing it fail, stop again, and now to this day, this moment as we're just about to take off. I want to ask you what it's personally like for you.
Well, it's definitely a moment of great satisfaction personally for me. I have been involved in transportation for 49 years in Hawaii, and so just getting to this point just gives me a tremendous satisfaction. But more than that, I'm just so excited for getting this system going for everybody on this island.
And Roger, I think it'd be remiss if we didn't take a moment to recognize those gentlemen behind you on the pictures at the front of the rail. Can you talk a little bit about the significance, especially having Senator Inouye up there?
Well, Senator Inouye was steadfast, and this is a huge priority for him. He just did Herculean movements to get this full funding agreement so that we could get this project going. On the other side is former Mayor Frank Fossey. This was a vision of Mayor Fossey going all the way back to the 60s. And so I think we need to recognize these champions of the system that that are unfortunately gone from us right now, but they were both of them fully responsible for where we are today.
Roger Morton, Director of the Department of Transportation Services. It's certainly a day for celebration. A lot of folks excited. I may try and jostle my way down here to interview Mayor if we can. And Senator Schatz and Mayor talking right now. I'll let them have a moment. But again, we're at the very front of this first car. It's tight quarters, Steve, and you know I'm not a small person.
Yeah.
So I will have Mayor come over here and talk to us for just a minute. Mayor, I want to see the smile on your face. This is an exciting time.
Yes, it is. I mean, I said earlier, words somewhat fail me in this situation. It's just such an incredible feeling of pride and excitement for the future ahead. I mean, this is really about future generations, but today we get to be at the beginning of something that's been talked about for a lot of years, and seeing it come to fruition, becoming a reality, is a very gratifying experience.
Through decades and decades, we're finally here opening our first leg. What can you say to people watching right now about the future of rail? Of course, HART transferred this over to the city's Department of Transportation Services, but they still have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, sure. I want to be practical, right? It's one step at a time, and we phased this first phase into 3 segments, so we're still working today as we begin this ride out to Kapolei on the Dillingham corridor.
And it sounds like we're getting just about ready to take off. Roger gave me the choo-choo.
And Casey, and I know, Casey, I've seen you, I've watched you, I know you've been on this, so I think the people today who have not, I'm anticipating a bunch of oohs and ahs, because I've been out here with the public before, and we took our families out here, and it's a great experience.
Very smooth ride, very quiet. 22 minutes from East Kapolei, or Holava to East Kapolei, and it really is a pretty remarkable ride and quick.
Well, much gets said about it, but this is the truth. This is a 21st century operation, and I think anything we can do to modernize our city for the betterment of the people who live here.
Train's leaving at 10
good.
seconds, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was that the governor giving you the wrap it up?
I used to work with these guys, and there's something about having that mic in front of my face feels extraordinarily comfortable.
This guy's going to have the train running on time, which is great.
We got it done right up when you said June 30th, the day ahead of July, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to ask Governor Green while we have him here again, and I asked Roger this.
We're still getting to know him.
We'll stay with it.
The significance about these 2 gentlemen behind you throughout the pictures.
Well, Senator Inouye and Mr. Fossey, the mayor, and the mayor's wife. It's just amazing to have her in the front seat, and that's testament to Mayor Blangiardi.
And we're off, gentlemen. There it is.
To have Ms. Fossey there in the front seat is just one more special moment for us today. So here we are. It's just amazing to feel the train go.
I want to also ask Governor Green, there's obviously a big Captain Mark Sahaney, the Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam commander. I think that there's something to be said about the fact that a lot of our military, our servicemen and women, will be able to take advantage riding from Kapolei here to Hawaii.
That's absolutely true, and they're going to come and watch the UH football team eventually kick butt too. So it's all coming together. A lot of people see the train, we see housing. A lot of people see the train, we see energy self-sufficiency. A lot of people see the train, we see jobs. So with the military nearby, and look at this view. I mean, I hope that you guys can capture a view that we don't ever see from the highway. It is really quite something. So, thank you to all the legends that came before us, and that means Senator Inouye and Frank Fossey.
A lot of folks that did not get to see this come to fruition, but put quite a bit of work in it. Governor Josh Green, I want to thank you for your time as well. The First Lady is here as well. A really exciting time, Steve and Grace. As you see, you've got to you have to have a strong core if you're not going to hold on. It's a very smooth ride, but it did catch us off guard just a little bit. But again, quiet and 22 minutes from East Kapolei to Halamba. As you saw, we rode that throughout the morning a little while ago on Sunrise. But guys.
We saw Brandy Higa laughing, but I'm assuming she wasn't laughing about the core.
We've got
No.
But we're not sure.
Right
Casey, we heard from the executive from Hitachi during the ceremony, and he talked about how this is a driverless train, and that today is a day with so many dignitaries on board that the software engineers who coded it were going to be the most nervous out of everyone. you want to describe maybe what that's like, just being on the train and not having a driver?
Well, it is interesting, and they've always said you get the best seat in the house right up front here, and so we're pulling into the Pearl Ridge station right now. But it is really cool to be up there. The driverless train, as you said, one of the first in the country here. So I actually just want to show you this moment here as we get to the first stop along the railway. No, it is interesting, but we've covered this extensively. The trial running phase that Hitachi and Hart spent so much time making sure that everything was safe, everything was ready for riders to actually board the train today. So it's an exciting time, guys. Any other questions?
No, well, I guess the actual celebration, the ceremony itself was very entertaining. Obviously, a lot of congratulations, a lot of thank yous, and rightfully so that we finally got to this moment. What were your thoughts as to how that was handled and the overall vibe of that?
Well, I think it was kind of a moment of relief. You heard Lori Kaikina say that as well. The day is finally here. So the mood, the vibe there earlier this morning, Steve, was one of excitement. And a lot of people, again, relief that they finally have gotten here. And so, yeah, it's been a pretty great morning. A lot of people, again, very, very relieved, I would say. It was kind of a moment of relief, but also of celebration. A really good day as we get ready for this first ride.
Hey, Casey, I wanted to ask you, for those who maybe didn't see your coverage from before, maybe just a reminder that this is really the time, if you are interested in seeing what the rail is all about, that it's free this weekend, right?
It's free this weekend, and again, you don't need a holo card today. You will need one starting Saturday. Again, we've listed off those park and ride locations. You can get on here at the Halava station. That's where we took off, East Kapolei. But yeah, this is the time to take advantage of it. As you've heard, though, from DTS and HART officials, today is going to be busy. They're going to expect a lot of people at 2 p.m. When they have the first public riders on the train here. So yes, today is the free day, and it'll be free again, as you mentioned, through the 4th. But yeah, they also ask people not to line up, not to come early, and to just wait until you're ready to ride.
Yeah, obviously a lot of great moments from that ceremony as well. Thought it was particularly interesting. The mayor thanked the 3 mayors before him. Governor Green comes out and acknowledges Mayor Caldwell in particular, says nobody's been beat up over this more than he has.
Natasha, can we talk a little bit just about this moment and how much...
All right, Casey.
Sorry, you lost a little communication there.
No, go ahead,
we want to talk to this gentleman from Hitachi just about what today means for you, for your team, to finally open this up.
Well, it's so fantastic. When you've got the most modern, state-of-the-art rail system in the whole of the United States here in Hawaii, to get people on the train, to see it stopping exactly the right place, to see feel the acceleration and the drive and the great views.
Alistair Dormer with us again from Hitachi, and I want to ask you a little bit about that trial running phase. A lot of folks obviously call in and say, well, we see the train going back and forth, it's empty. How important was it to make sure that everything was sound and safe?
Safety is our number one priority. So the team, both with Hitachi, but also with HART and DTS, did a fantastic job. And we finished all of that testing in just 35 days, which is a testament to the quality of the engineering and also the commitment of the people.
I want to ask you, Alistair, are you able to speak to the hammerhead issue and how your engineers were able to resolve that?
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. I just also want to ask you just how state-of-the-art this is. When you made your comments down there on the stage back at the Halava station, you said this is something that Honolulu should be proud of. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, look at it. It's the most iconic view you can see of modern technology. Last week I visited Pearl Harbor and just looked up and you could just see the train going around the harbor, and it's just such an iconic view of modern technology.
And this system, I want to ask, is it used in other cities as well, other municipalities as well, or is this pretty unique here for Honolulu?
This is first time in the United States for this technology. We have proven this system in Europe in a few cities. So it's very, very proven and safe technology. But clearly, this is designed specifically for Honolulu So the trains are a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, and you get that amazing view down the train, as you can see all the way down to the end. It's just a great sight.
As somebody that has driven all over this island for the news business, I will say that it is a very much a different perspective. And I think we were out here a couple weeks back, and there was a traffic jam on H1, and it kind of goes to show you, well, it feels nice to be aboard this as they're waiting in traffic. So a very important and exciting day. Alistair, thank you so much for speaking with us. Yeah, we got to hold on. So again, Grace and Steve, we're going to make our way down to East Kapolei. Of course, we'll be checking back in throughout the day, but just want to take in this moment. We've seen all of our elected officials, Congressman Ed Case down there, as well as the DTS director, mayor, and everybody. An exciting time, and right now, I believe we are...
We're pulling
Where
in?
are we at? Pulling in? Casey, I wanted to ask you a question about just kind of the logistics of what's going to happen here, because I know you're going all the way to the end of the line at East Kapolei. Are you guys going to get out and then come back on the train? What's the plan?
I haven't thought that far ahead, Grace.
You know, Casey. You've met him.
I haven't planned everything all the way down. Who would have thought? No, we're going to get all the way down to East Kapolei, and then I believe we'll turn around, or the train will change directions, and we'll head back to Halava. So excuse our shot as we keep moving and starting again. But now we're going by the Rail Operations Center, a really important part of this whole system, as we've shown you how they take those trains in for service, wash them. It's kind of a momentous day, truly. It is.
Yeah,
see Senator Chris Lee there.
Yeah, Casey, and we'll let you go out to your business, and I know you got a lot of stuff to coordinate, but I think we talk a lot about the celebration that's happening today, and rightfully so, but a lot can be said about the problems that have plagued this project over the years, over the decades, the increased costs, the delays. But we should also mention that whatever fair criticism can be made about this project has been made about this project. In particular, here on Sunrise, here on all of Hawaii News Now. Today, though, I think is just a time to celebrate that this has kind of come to fruition, at least the first phase, right?
Yeah, and Steve, a lot of the people that we talked to, writers, we went out to talk to folks on the west side, East Kapolei and Ewa. Many of them, you may think would have said, no, I'm not writing that thing because of all those issues, but most of the people I talked to say, we've already paid for it, we're writing it, and we may as well give it a chance. And if we have a little time, I do have Congressman Ed Case with me here this morning, and I just want to ask, Congressman, what today is like for you?
It's an incredible... it's transformative. I think that word was used a lot of times during the remarks this morning, and to actually have this, be happening and to now be a part of our Honolulu is really a good feeling. I think it's going to really change things.
Steve Uehara just asked me a question about kind of the feel, the vibe of today as we were down there. Of course, there's plenty of opportunity to criticize what's happened in the past, go back and forth, but I think today was more one of a celebration, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as was said a lot of times today, large, massive infrastructure projects like this are difficult. They're hard. They generate a lot of emotion. They generate a lot of doubt. They have to do with very, very difficult issues that any community has to face. What is your land use like? How do you want to get people around? They are very, disruptive, or can be at least, and you have to go through those things. And that's been true of every single mass transit project, probably in the history of the world, if you really take a look at it. And so, we had to go through that too, and we're not finished. And this is going to continue to be a difficult project that is going to take us all working together to complete the original design all the way to Ala Moana and beyond, which I think we should do. And so, this is a great day, but it's kind of like a milestone along a long journey.
I'd agree. I would say that there is that shared sentiment that, it almost one of, I don't want to say relief, but it kind of is that. We're finally here. We're finally opening this first leg. And it's a pretty smooth ride, is it not?
Oh yeah, it's a great ride. I mean, I'm looking out here at the views like everybody talks about. It's wonderful. One of the speakers today talked about how it was so fascinating to kind of get up a level and check out things that you just don't see from the freeway. And I mean, it's a great ride itself. So I can see people using this and enjoying it.
Are you confident people will ride it?
I mean, we're going to see, right? And one of the arguments for rail was always that the expansion of Honolulu, especially westward, would not be possible with kind of your traditional transportation model. You were going to must go with some form of mass transit. So for me, the question was never about whether to do it, but exactly how. And of course, we had many debates along the way about how to do that. We made our choice. Here we are. And fundamentally, I don't think I could imagine Honolulu in 25 to 50 years without this year. I think that's the bottom line right now. You can argue all you want about whether we should or shouldn't have it, but you have to look at it kind of looking forward into history and then backwards. You've got to start somewhere. How do we want the city to look and work 25, 50 years from now?
Congressman Ed Casey, I appreciate your time today and enjoy the ride. I want to just send things back for now to Steve and Grace in studio. Are you guys still with us? I did lose a little bit of cell connectivity there. Okay, I've got you.
All right, Casey.
Hang on there, bud.
I know, you got a few more stops ahead of you.
I will.
Use that core. All right, we're going to have much more team coverage, not only from Casey and Daryl, but also Annalisa's out there, Billy V.
And also a look back at the history of this project, which has now come to fruition. We'll be right back. We want to say thank you again for tuning in to our live coverage of the launch of Skyline.
Yeah, it's a historic day, and Oahu's new mass transit system, it is up and running now from East Kapolei to Halawa. The next phase is going to go to Middle Street, and then eventually the Civic Center between downtown and Kaka'ako.
Right now, let's check in with Billy B, who is in Kapolei. Billy, what's going on?
Thank you very much, Steve and Grace. We're here. This is the Kualaka'i station, as you can see. First of all, let me tell you about the surroundings. We're here. Nobody else is here. There have been people stopping by, though. They've been poking their faces over by the gate that you see behind me, and the staff is there gently telling them, sorry, it doesn't open till 2 p.m. So there has been a slow flow of people that have been coming by, curious, because they know that today is the day it all begins. I just talked to a couple that was just walking by here, and I kind of politely walked up and said, so, do you live nearby? Are you going to use the rail? He goes, oh yeah, we're going to try them out. Maybe not today, but next week, I got to go to my mom's house. She lives by Pearl Ridge. I'm going to catch from here to there, and then together we're going to go and drive to the airport. He goes, gotta try. I went, okay. So you get kind of an indication there. We've also been here on the sidewalk and getting honks from horns as we've been going throughout the day. Stephen Grace, for me, this is kind of reflective because on February 22nd, 2011, I was here in this spot with Senators Daniel Akaka and Daniel Inouye as they put their shovels in and were part of the groundbreaking for this project. So 12 years later, to be here, seeing it run, we'll see that train coming with the first passengers with Casey them coming up in just a little bit. But it is an interesting day here. Real quickly, let me also tell you that for who is this going to serve? This station here, the surrounding areas, you've got Kapolei, you've got Makakilo, and then on to the west side, all the west side people, there's the opportunity for them to come here perhaps and then catch that train in towards town. Now I know that you said, Grace, Civic Center, but boy, there's been a lot of talk about the word beyond as we've been going throughout the morning. So we'll be interested to see how that comes about. Stephen, Grace?
Yeah, Roger Morton from the Department of Transportation, in fact, did mention going to Ala Moana. So we'll see how that works out. Billy, I know there'd been talk about extending further into Kapolei. Did that come up with your conversation with that couple earlier?
It didn't come up in conversation with them, but it's come up in conversation with people we've talked to before. So if you are here at Kualaka'i Parkway, it is estimated that it is a 21-minute walk towards Kamakana'ali, which would be the nearest shopping center, a large place where there's food, of course, shopping, et cetera, et cetera. So that has come up. And as a matter of fact, our newsroom has gone ahead and asked Hart, will that be, going over towards that direction? Well, there was a comment made, and I think it was also made earlier this morning that, interestingly enough, it would be finishing on the east side. There was Civic Center mentioned, there was the airport mentioned, and beyond, and then possibly a look at extending this one back towards in the other direction, which for people on the west side that said, that would make sense because that's close to a lot of shopping and other things there. I do want to mention that as a rider of Japan trains and subways a lot, right now, there's not a lot here. Just a reminder, the bathroom, there are no bathrooms, public restrooms. There's no places to eat or drink nearby, but a year from now, 2 years from now, are there going to be businesses that pop up near all of the stations? That's what I think that people are hoping happens to generate the economy in those areas where the rail line are. So this is, as they say, the beginning. We will see what happens. But going in the other direction, that's an also, the word isn't no. So it's possible.
It is definitely possible. Billy, I was curious if there are any lines at all of people just kind of deciding maybe I want to ride the train today. Have you seen anything like that?
Well, we've seen, as we told you, the continuous flow of people kind of being inquisitive, but no. And I think one of the reasons why there is no line right now is because they've told the people you can't really wait here. It opens at 2 p.m. And so we're glad to welcome you back. So there's been a lot of approach. Then it's the angled body of looking inside. Then it's the nods. And then they walk away. So, we're guessing they'll be back. I want to make this apparent as a train pulls up, and it looks like that might be Casey up there because I'm seeing people on it, and it looks like dignitaries on the sides. But he said the word, "Oh, we're going to go down to Kapolei. The train's going to turn around." It actually doesn't turn around. It actually slides into and then there's two sides. But it goes both directions. The train, right? It looks identical on one side as it does the other side. So that way, that train is going to it pulls in this way, stays in its track, and then it's going to pull out on that same way. And then, of course, the guideway merges from left to right into one section further on down the way.
And again, to your point, Billy, whatever criticism you might have about this project, you have to hope that it works because we've all seen the traffic going to and from that side of the island, and we know what they feel like, and we empathize with that population eternally. Yeah.
Well, I think what may happen is that now that this is running, now that people are watching and they're driving in the mornings and they will see a train go by them, they'll start to think and wonder,
Yeah,
that's going faster than I am. Do I need to be up there doing that? So it'll be interesting as we go. And, you know, I had a chance to be with Casey at one of the rail stops, I believe it was over towards Aloha Stadium one morning, and we got to go up on the platform while we were talking to officials for news coverage. But it was just nice to be up there and refreshing just to see all the preparations that are made. But once again, to see that this is actually running today, it's kind of chicken skin. It's a whole new day. And as time goes by, we'll see whether more people embrace it. There's been a lot of talk with different communities and different circles. And so if I'm at a place where there's a concert and I hear the word rail, I just kind of step in just to listen. Some people are like, you know, rail, da 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 da. Then there's the people that goes, I don't know. So this might be the good time to try if you are, I don't know, or even if you're like, this might be the good time. Just a reminder, you don't need a holo card today, but starting tomorrow, you will need to get that holo card. By the way, Stephen Grace, full disclosure, I don't have my holo card yet. I am once that gate opens.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
make sure to take a lot of pictures today, Billy, to remember this day for future decades to come.
Good stuff. Thank you, Billy.
We'll do. But just to be here in the beginning and to see it running on this day, awesome. Stephen Grace, send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Billy.
All right, now I want to check in with Annalisa Burgos, live in Halava. Annalisa.
Yeah, hey guys, unlike Billy, I am prepared. I have my holo card. I've been taking the bus for a couple years now, so I have it ready with me. Let me show you what I'm looking at. You know, we have been following the event with the dignitaries. They're off on the trains, but this is the parking lot here at Halava. They are basically limiting it to about 600 car capacity. They're not going to open it until 2 p.m., so I haven't seen any lines for it yet. Obviously, it's very early, but I wanted to show you the parking lot over at Aloha Stadium as well, because if this parking lot gets full, you can also park there, but be mindful, we asked, and parking there is going to cost you $9. So I would suggest probably sticking with the public free parking here at Halava if you can make it, but they aren't going to open it until about 2 p.m. So just wanted to walk you through, again, the basics. We've been reporting it to you for the last couple weeks, but just a reminder, if you are here at the Halava Stadium, the Aloha Stadium stop, you're going to be welcomed with these open gates. You don't have to use these cards at all. Basically, it's an open house. So you're basically going to go in through these gates, but starting tomorrow, a reminder that you will have to have these cards to get in. So let me show you. So you can see some folks already here, kind of playing with the pass machines, buying them, some media crews, of course. Let me show you on the other side, since those seem to be taken. But again, there's fare machines on both sides of the station. When you go look at one of these fare machines, you're going to have an option. Now, I tried it earlier and I made the mistake of thinking it was a touch screen. So, you guys, it's not a touch screen. You're going to have to use these buttons. So when you come to it, press the button, anything to get started. You have all these languages. I love that they have, Alelo, they have Tagalog, they have Samoa, lots of different languages. But let's go with English, of course. And then you have an option of doing a one-day pass, a new card, single ride, buy a new card. So let's do a single ride. And as you can see, you do have to pay for that card. So the card itself is $2, and then one ride is $2.75. So if you guys are buying this for after July 4th, remember, from now to July 4th, the rides are free. This is what you guys will have to at least have to get a holo card. And then they do have these daily passes. Just a quick explainer on what that is. If you want to go back and forth, go multiple rides, let's see. Oh, see, look, I'm doing this touch screen again. I made a mistake. Oh my God. You guys, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Okay.
User
This
error.
is why we do it. This is why we do it for you guys. This is why we do it, guys. Sorry, these buttons. These buttons.
Got it.
Oh my gosh. So yes. There we go. Oh, see, I did it again. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, guys. Okay, here we go. Number 2, here we go. And then you can pay for the adult card, adult 1-day pass, $7.50 for all day. But you know, it depends on how many times you want to ride the thing. Of course, the bus transfers are included within a 2.5-hour window. You could use those included in your initial $2.75 fee. Credit card, debit, coins. I don't see any. Oh, there we go. Bills. They'll take all your money, whatever you want. And then you can have an automatic reload. I actually have mine automatic reloaded, so you could do that online at the Holo Card website. All right, let's go in. That's enough about the fair. Let's go inside. I'm just going to keep talking until you guys stop me, all right?
No, it's great.
So
Yeah,
this
I like
is
the
where
tour.
you're going to... Yeah, you're going to tap. This is starting, of course, tomorrow, not today, because it's open house today. You're going to tap it here. It's going to ping. The gate's going to open, and then we're going to walk in. So here it is, guys. This is the Halawa Aloha Stadium. Welcome. As you can see, they had the event here earlier. We're going to go upstairs. You have 3 options. I don't think you guys want to see me going up the stairs. I'm going to be huffing and puffing, but maybe if you guys want an exercise in the morning. It's a good workout though, guys, right?
Yeah.
If you guys want to come out and do your workout, up the stairs and down the stairs we go. And escalator, and of course everything is ADA accessible. So you have the elevators available to you if you want to take those as well for our other patrons. All right, let's do it. I'm going to be nice to my photojournalist Corbin. We're going to take the escalator. He's been holding it this whole time. So we're going to go up to the platform. So because this is the end of the line, both platforms are available for the train. Unlike the other stops, right, because there's 9 stops, you have to be mindful of which track you're going to get on, because you want to either go eastbound or westbound. Don't get on the wrong platform. But for sure, this is you could go either way and you're fine. I did want to mention, we have been reporting that there's bathrooms here. If you talk to one of the station attendants, but I did talk to them to clarify that they are discouraging people from asking to use the facility here. That's really just for emergencies, but they do have porta potties, and we'll show that to you in just a minute. Traditional porta potties. Okay. We'll see how that goes.
You don't have to show that.
Anyway, so. You want to know, Grace. Our viewers want to know what they're going to be into.
Hey, Annalisa.
So here we go. Here's the gates.
I just had a logistics question. So when you pay the fare, you can go all the way to the end of the line one way, correct, for that $2.75?
You can go as many times. You can go back and forth as many times as you want within a 2.5-hour period. If you get off, after 2.5 hours, you have to pay to get back on. So that's $2.75 again.
Got it.
If you get a day trip, $7.50, you could just get on and off on any stop you want. Have a tour of the West Side. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun for folks this weekend. I know, one deterrent for me on the West Side is I don't like to drive out there. But with the train, I'm going to go more often, I think, and it's good for our students at UH West Oahu, as well as LCC, but don't park at the LCC. Oh, and just a reminder, the park and ride, there's only 3 park and ride lots that are operating through July 4th. Okay, I'm going to stop. Whew, I'm winded. I got a workout, guys. Let's go in the shade. Let's go this way.
Yeah, it's hard to walk and talk. You went a long distance, too.
We went all the way to the end. So this is, if you guys notice, this is four what do you call those? Train cabs in one train. So going back, park and ride, you have the which one? UH West Oahu, yes, and Ho'opili. And then we have this one here. So there's 3. The capacity for the second stop, which is the UH West Oahu stop, is about, 400 spots. And then at Ho'opili, we have about another 400 spots. And then here it's about 600. So depending on how demand is later today, when it opens at 2, you might need to plan ahead if you don't get one of those slots, right? So just a reminder. So, and they're going to have 5 trains running. The way they've been telling us that they're going to run it is each stop, the 9 stops, will have a train ready for this 2 p.m. launch. So we'll see how that works out. I know Daryl Huff has been reporting about it it's hard to kind of imagine, but I know for sure they're going to regulate how many people are going to be getting on, because they imagine that most people will want to start at the terminals, at the ends. So they're going to manage it so that it's not everyone's going to go on the first stop and then not be able to get on the other stops. So space your ride, guys. Make sure you don't kind of crowd around. Well, we'll see how it goes, right? It depends really on the
We're hoping
van,
things go
especially since
smoothly.
it's open house.
We hope that it's a great practice run, and we hope that things go smoothly in the future as well. Again, 2 p.m. today, that's when it opens to the public.
Yeah, Annalisa live in Hawaii.
And we'll be right here.
Giving us a tour today.
Yeah. We got more to come.
That's it. We're going to go back down now.
Yes, of this historic day. In fact, we're going to take a live, not a live, but we're going to look back at the timeline as to how we got to this point. That's coming up as well. We'll be right back. Again, a historic day today, but the path to get to a mass transit system built on Oahu, it's been a long one, full of twists and turns. Talk began decades ago, but making the rail a reality was easier said than done.
Yeah, so we dug through our archives to examine the project's history. Here's Keahi Tucker.
Talk of a rail project to help alleviate Oahu's increasing traffic troubles first began in 1968 when Neil Blaisdell was mayor. His successor a year later, Frank Fosse, championed the idea for a 29-mile rail line from Hawaii Kai to Pearl City. But Fosse lost his re-election bid in 1980. And a few months later, new mayor Eileen Anderson canceled all rail plans.
Ridership numbers that had been anticipated when HART was proposed are simply not materializing.
But when Fosse was re-elected in 1984, he brought rail back on track. And by 1990, federal money was promised for a 17-mile system. The city wanted a 0.5% general excise tax surcharge to provide local funding. Public support was mixed, but it seemed like a done deal at Honolulu Hale. Then, suddenly, any hope for rail died during a council committee vote in 1992.
Councilmember Mancho?
No.
Councilmember Morgado? No.
Councilmember Reen Mancho, a one-time rail supporter, changed sides in the final hours of the surcharge debate and stopped the train with a single swing vote, saying the Fosse administration failed to prove the project was financially sound.
I think the people of the city and county of Honolulu, especially the younger generation, have lost out.
Fosse's successor, Jeremy Harris, started bus rapid transit before his term was up in 2004. But a few months later, new mayor Mufi Henneman scrapped the system. He was able to get funding for rail after state legislators allowed counties to impose a GET surcharge to pay for public transportation systems. Oahu's 4% GET increased to 4.5%. It's set to expire in 2030.
It will not waste taxpayers' dollars. I make that pledge to you.
There was also a highly influential supporter in Congress, longtime Hawaii U.S. Senator Daniel Inouye.
I guarantee you this much, I'm going to do my damnedest to see that money comes in.
What followed was years of back and forth over the right route and the exact type of system. In 2008, voters finally had their say and chose steel-on-steel rail. They also voted 2 years later to create the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation, or HART. The city finally broke ground in 2011 for what had become a $4 billion project. But work was soon paused for more than a year because of a federal lawsuit over native Hawaiian burial sites. During that time, former Governor Ben Cayetano joined the 2012 mayoral race to kill the project if elected.
The most mismanaged project that I've ever seen in my 28 years in public office.
But he lost to rail supporter Kirk Caldwell. Over the next several years, the project struggled with rising costs, public distrust, changes in HART leadership, and billions of dollars in funding shortfalls. The FTA eventually withheld federal money and forced HART to issue several recovery plans. In 2020, the agency canceled a public-private partnership plan for the city center section because bids were higher than expected.
Both came in above $1 billion, almost $1.3 billion above the affordability limits.
I, Rick Blangiardi, do solemnly swear.
The tough job of figuring out how to pay for rail was then passed on to Honolulu's next leader, Rick Blangiardi. He eventually received federal approval to cut the line 1.25 miles short, ending in Kaka'ako instead of Ala Moana. The city also ditched a $330 million park and ride structure at Pearl Highlands to keep the project's price tag under $10 billion.
Well, our intent was to say, how much money do we have, and how far can we possibly take this?
The city will need to look for other funding to someday stretch the line to Ala Moana. But now, after decades of debate and delays, Skyline, Hawaii's largest ever public works project, is ready for riders.
This really fulfills a 50-year promise to the people of Oahu. We were going to put in a rail system. This transfer ushers in a new era.
A new era and a new way to connect Oahu's first and second cities. Keahi Tucker, Hawaii News Now.
So many different zigs and zags over the years, and actually over the decades, you forgot, all the different aspects of that.
And all the different mayors that we've gone through to get to this point. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, you saw Mayor Fosse there, the late Senator Inouye. That's why their two faces are in the train itself, and why Governor Green said it was so special to have Mayor Fosse's wife at the front of the train today for this celebration.
Now we're just a little more than 2 hours away from the rail line opening to the public. We're going to have much more coverage of Skyline. We'll be right back.
I think by now, Casey's done a full round trip, right?
I don't know. Let's find out. Casey Lund live on the rail today. Casey.
Good time, Steve and Grace. We just pulled up to the Pearl Ridge station, and I want to just give you a couple looks. Actually, show you down here the dignitaries, the mayor, Chief Logan from HPD, as well as many other elected officials. But I want to give you a look here as we are in the back of the train. Now, yes, Billy corrected me. The train didn't turn around. I meant it's going the other direction. So we boarded the other train. But you may remember when we first came to you this morning, right where I'm standing on that other rail car, were two very important pictures. Former Mayor Frank Fosse as well as Senator Daniel K. Noy, two people that did not get to see this come to fruition. But we do have a very special interview, and I want to hand things off to Hawaii News Now, Daryl Huff with Joyce Fosse. Daryl, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Casey. Joyce Fosse, what's it feel like to be riding on the train your husband envisioned 45 years ago?
Oh, 45 or 50 years ago, you know, I'm just blessed to be able to ride it. I wish you were here. He's got a picture in here, but, you know, he would have been very pleased. But it could have happened 50 years ago.
Was it hard to support him during those times when it got so polarized and there was so much fighting and so much of it was very personal?
No. You know what was very difficult is when you have a vision and you can't convince everybody else to see the same thing happening. But he was a visionary, and I just thank the Lord that he was there for 22 years, so he was able to see a lot of his ideas happen. Today, I don't know. You got to really think when you're voting for someone that they know what they're doing.
When this thing died a couple of times, did Frank ever say, "I'm giving up, we're never going to have rail"?
What was that?
Did Frank ever say, "I'm giving up, we're never going to have rail"?
Never. Because he could see this was our future. But unfortunately, if you've got an idea and it's hard to convince everybody else to see what you see, it's very difficult. But I'm glad that there were some people that were able to bring it to fruition, except that the feds would have paid a lot more for it.
You know, I'm remembering Frank started as a Democrat. You're Japanese American yourself, and there was a sense that the whole Democratic Party turned against him. How did that feel for you folks?
Well, it's really, you know, when you're in politics, it's so difficult because you've got so many different ideas, so many different people, and it's trying to get what you want to do and do it, you know. But as I said, he was so blessed for 22 years.
Thank you, Joyce Fosse, very much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
But I'm riding the rail. That's amazing.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Daryl. So just want to kind of set the scene for you now. We're back here at the Halawa station, and while we're at the station offloading, let's go ahead and have you tag along really quickly before we send things back into the studio. That was the inaugural ride with many of our elected officials, dignitaries, as well as Joyce Fosse. That was a really special moment to hear from her late husband, who's so instrumental in this project, guys. Smooth ride, and as I said, 22 minutes down, 22 minutes back from East Kapolei to Halawa. And yeah, you can see all the folks offloading now that we're back here at the Halawa station, throwing shaka, having a good day. Beautiful day here.
Casey's with all the VIPs.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Thanks,
I just
Casey.
tagged along.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful
right?
moment to hear from Joyce about the experience of being there for this momentous moment. Yeah.
And to hear her talk about her late husband and how he never gave up hope in seeing this day.
And convincing people to see the vision themselves. We got more to come here.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Annalisa Burgos and Billy V, who's along the rail line.
Yeah, they're going to share all the information that riders are going to need before they hop on the train today or this weekend. We'll be right back after this. So we saw Casey go back to the beginning. Now let's check in with Billy V, who is at the end of the line.
Yeah, Billy, what's your perspective on this day?
Thank you very much. Stephen Grace, it's been an awesome day where we've been able to see one, milestone come to fruition with the starting of the line. But now, where do we go from here? Segment 2 has actually already begun. Installation activities for the core systems, which include electrical, communications, train control, signaling, they've all begun. This is the 5.2-mile guideway that'll go with 4 stations that'll finish from Aloha Stadium to the airport. That's Makalapa Base Harbor. There's Lelepaua Station, Hua Station, and Kahawiki Station. That'll bring it all the way over towards Middle Street. So, with that said, HART plans to transfer the assets of Segment 2 to DTS mid-2025. They hope to complete the construction on the 4 stations by the end of the year. In the meantime, here at Kualaka'i Park Station, there's been some people that have been coming by. Talked to quite a few people that are saying they are anxious to ride, but because of the heat, they'll come back at 2 p.m. when it officially opens. Steve and Grace from East Kapolei, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Billy.
All right, it's time now to check in with, I believe we have Annalisa Burgos.
Yeah, on the other end of the line.
What's going on, Annalisa?
Hey guys, this is where the party has been all morning. A lot of the dignitaries, a lot of the people behind the rail system, the Skyline system have been here. The first batch actually just came back and had some great reviews. I wanted to give you a little bit of a 101 for the folks that are coming a little bit later at 2. Let me show you the parking lot. So this is definitely one of the park and ride locations. It has capacity for about 600 cars. There are some cars there now, but that's because of the people who are here for the grand opening ceremony. They're supposed to be cleared out so that it can be open to the public by 2. Now let's show you the actual track. Oh, just a reminder also that Aloha Stadium has parking, but it will cost you $9 if you end up parking over there. So just be mindful of that. Today, a reminder that you don't need the holo cars to get in. It's basically open house. You can get on at any of the stops. This stop for sure will probably draw a lot of the crowds just because it is the terminal, and just be mindful that you can buy your cards ahead of time at the station, I guess, what do you call them? Those kiosks downstairs. And we gave you a little bit of preview about it earlier. Be mindful, those are not touchscreen. You have to press those buttons on the side to order the holo card. Remember, from today through July 4th, they are free rides. You don't have to pay for any of it, but starting after July 4th, you will have to pay for the card, as well as one of the rides will cost you $2.75. But it's a deal because you get to ride 11 miles of the rail, historic moment here in history here on Hawaii. It's supposed to be the first autonomous train system. If you have been at some of these airports across the country, it's similar to those. So, for example, in New York or in, basically any of the airport train systems that get you through the terminals. This is similar to it. Just be mindful also that there is going to be some bathrooms. I don't know if you can see it from here. I'll just show you guys. There won't be actual bathrooms, public bathrooms, but you can see it from there. That's basically your option if you really need to use the restroom. Those are the porta potties that I was telling you guys about. Steve and Grace.
Well, the outside is